the oscillator types on the Arturia MiniFreak, and we've gotten to, let's see, Harmo, I believe. Harmo. Harmo is basically a digital exploration of harmonic relationships. You know, obviously, well, I won't say obviously, harmonics are so complicated. Anyway, every sound is made up of a bunch of different sine waves at increasing frequency and decreasing amplitude that create, they're basically the atoms of a sound, and all of them together create the timbres that we hear. So Harmo is kind of an exploration of harmonic manipulation. There's sort of, it gives you the impression that there's like an additive process to it, but in additive synthesis, we get to decide what harmonics are present and to what amplitude they exist and what frequency they exist. And this makes all the decisions for you. So it is kind of additive, but it's not the process of additive. These are additive outcomes decided by various tables of harmonics, and which is not to diminish it in any way, still totally cool. Okay. We start off with this really nice sort of organ timbre. Because as you might know, like in the case of the Hammond organ, we're dealing with sine waves. So we're really used to a sine wave based organ sound. So that's really cool. Also, the Hammond organ is based on the idea of the telharmonium, which was not only one of the first synthesizers, but the first additive synthesizer. Anyway, so let's get back to harmonics. Sorry. Our first knob, the wave knob, is marked content within the context of this oscillator, and it basically moves you through different tables of harmonic content, adding harmonic content as you go up, which results in it seeming to get higher and higher. Really weird. We're only halfway up. If you go all the way up, we get to this. It goes up in pitch and shifts towards that a set of harmonics that are high and results in this sort of weird pinchy thing. But you can come down with it. It's a weird thing, but it's cool. If you want to keep it within the range of, you know, I mean, certainly you can be using this synth for synthesis and you may not need everything to be tonal and, you know, traditional or whatever. But if that's where you want to live, you can live down here. Obviously, if you want to use your patch over here to modulate this setting, you can get some really cool sound. Kind of very digital sounding. Or, I mean, in a way, we are talking about a filtering effect if we're talking about the adjustment of harmonic content. Now, the middle knob actually shifts those sine waves that you're messing with in with the first knob, sets of sine waves. It gradually shifts them to triangle waves. So instead of harmonics that are sine waves, you have harmonics that are triangle waves, which is wild. Which is a really cool effect. It really heightens the sine wave harmonic tables that you're messing with the wave knob to have it in the triangle range like this. And then the final knob is just a chorus. Here, we'll turn everything down to... So you can get some really beautiful sounds using this by modulating both the timbre and the wave. Timbre, what do they call it? Sculpting is what the timbre is in this oscillator, and wave is content. But yeah, with manipulations, modulation manipulations, affecting the wave and timbre knobs, you're going to get really interesting. And adding the chorus does bring in a certain more, we're used to hearing oscillators not being in tune. And of course, we're talking about digital oscillators here, so you're going to have them perfectly in tune. So bringing the chorus kind of gives it that variability that lends itself more towards, perhaps in the direction of a more acoustic sound. So yeah, it works down in the bass range too. You can get some interesting outcomes there. Some really cool sounds. And again, this is just one setting, one potential oscillator setting. And you can, this is something we haven't really talked about yet, but there are two sets of oscillators here. So it gives you the freedom to come up with an oscillator sound that's totally wacky and bizarre. And then you can use your other oscillator to give it, a full bottom. So it sounds more like, a full sound instead of something that's maybe a little pinched like this may get to. You can use your oscillator to fill in the low end of that particular sound, and then you have a great patch. Anyway, this is the Harmo oscillator type found on the Arturia MiniFreak.